Roses are red, violets are blue. This movie is awful. Oh, yes, it's true. Hey everyone, my name is Ryan, and today on the channel I'm going to be reviewing a horror slasher film called Founders Day. Now this film was directed by Erik Bloomquist, and I've never seen any of his films. I have heard of one of his films before because another YouTuber recently reviewed his movie Quid Games, which I heard was really awful. So after watching this film, it kind of connected the dots that this director, well, he may not have the best directing style. The film stars Naomi, Grace, Devin, Druid, William Russ. Now he's the only actor I knew in this film. He's most notably known for being the dad in Boy Meets World, and the film is about a series of ominous killings that are happening in this town leading up to a heated mayor election. Going into Founders Day, I really was thinking it was going to be more so like Thanksgiving last year. That slasher was a B flick, but I actually enjoyed that movie, and seeing the poster, I never had actually watched a trailer for this film. That is what I was really hoping for. Positives that I can say about this film is I do like the look of the killer with the founding fathers wig. I do actually like that, and the mask, it looks pretty cool. The killings, some of them are kind of generic. There's a few that I actually like that are kind of graphic, which I could definitely appreciate about the film. And I actually do like the initial setup. You have this couple, Melissa and Allison. They are a lesbian couple, and one is going off to college. This girl gets kidnapped and supposedly thrown over a bridge, and she's supposedly missing at that point. The big problem with this film first is the acting itself. Now, I wasn't expecting Oscar nomination kind of acting here, but my gosh, some of it is just so over the top. The two mayors that are in this heated debate for this race, my gosh, every line for them is just delivered way over the top. You could definitely tell that they're overacting. There is another couple in here that aren't main characters, but they're part of the school and they're in love. They are just really over the top with their lines. There's one scene in here where they actually get detention for trying to knife our main character. And when they're in detention, they try to have sex on top of the desk, and they're kissing each other, and it's really over the top. They'll have some really cringy line delivery, which a lot of the characters have in here. Editing is very strange in this movie. They just do this like scene where like they're doing like the caution tape and everything like that, and then all of a sudden you just get a blast of music. The audio is all over the place in certain portions of this film, and then there's other portions of the film where people are getting chased after, and the audio just goes way up, and I'm like, I don't know who edited this. I don't think it was the theater sound or anything like that. I just think it was the way it was edited, because there are parts where the film was a little bit more quieter and then you hear like a bang. The plot to me is just a little bit overcomplicated. You have the mayor race and their heated little debate that they have going on. You have this relationship with Melissa and Allison, our main characters, in the main setup of the movie. You have other characters doing other things, like you have like the school stuff going on with her being bullied. Just other weird kind of transitions in here too. There's one part where somebody is killed and they're stuffed into a dumpster, and you just have this weird awkward scene with the cops here, and you know that there's something going on. The cops are absolutely retarded in this movie. The kills themselves, they range from just slashing of the throat to a little bit of mixture of slashing at the face, and just there isn't bad effects in here, I would say. I didn't really understand. We were about 50 minutes through the movie, and one of the killers that's involved is actually revealed, and I was like, okay, I definitely suspected this person was actually involved. And when we're at 50 minutes, I was like, well, there's got to be more than one killer, and there is obviously in this film. But the way that setup was, I just was like, I don't know if I really would have did a reveal actually right here. I think I would have waited a little bit later into the film. That whole reveal is very strange, because when this person is actually revealed, there's something that happens with another particular character involving our main character's father. And I was like, okay, this is really awkward, and just a weird way to just kill off certain characters as well. So a very weird transitioning again in the film. And also the main character's father, I don't think that he can act as well. Some of his lines are particularly cringy throughout this film. The last act of the movie I thought got really strange and got very convoluted. And the way that they chose to end this film, one of the characters that was actually involved, I was like, okay, they've got to be involved, because you can tell in a movie when a character is introduced and then they go away for a while and then they come back later in the film, you're like, well, they've got to be actually involved. And watching a lot of horror films like Scream, you can really tell with certain characters, you're like, yeah, they've got to be involved. They're too nice. Definitely in this film, that's kind of how this film actually goes. Now, the ending of this film, it can feel a little anticlimactic in a way, but it actually makes sense as to what is actually going on. So I understood a certain character's motivation for doing what they were doing, but at the same time, you kind of felt like, okay, so what is this main character going to do as far as their main decision in just ending this, or is it going to keep going on? By the time this film actually ends, in a way it feels anticlimactic, but in a way it could be open for a sequel as well. I didn't really mind, I would say, the third act too much, but at the same time I thought it was just a little much. And I also felt like this film, it didn't really have any humor. I wanted some jokes and we didn't get any of that, and the fact that the acting isn't very good, it's very hard to take serious. So as far as a score for this film, I would give it a 1.5 out of 5. It just wasn't very good. There were a few things that I liked, but I could really tell that this was a lower budget film. And it definitely feels like a film that would be like on Tubi or just like a really small streaming service where people can really appreciate a movie like this with just bad acting and not really expect much. I don't think this should have been a theater release. And I think as far as like a main audience here, I don't think they're going to like this film. People that like really bad acted films or really B flick to C flick kind of films, I think they're really going to enjoy this. Let me know down in the comments, what did you guys think about Founders Day? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't seen it, are you going to check it out when it comes to streaming? Are you going to go to the theater and check it out? Let me know. All comments are welcome down in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys on my next review.